Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Licata Pottas. Today I am going to show you how to start seeds. We're going to need a few items, so let me show you what those are. You're going to need seed starting mix. You can't use regular potting soil when you're starting seeds. And the main reason is because seed starting mix is a lot finer. You're going to need a fine material. The fine material is going to allow your seed to, that little bitty seed that you're going to be working with, it's going to allow it to emerge from the soil. If you use regular potting soil for your seeds, it gets a little tough. So I would suggest using the seed starting mix for sure. If you have regular potting soil, then you go ahead and buy some perlite or vermiculite. You're going to need to lighten that soil. Okay, seed starting mix. Water, a bowl and a spoon or a spatula, whatever you have, because we're going to be mixing water and seed starting mix together prior to planting our seeds. You're going to need a container to put your seeds in. Today I want to show you the logistics of just using things around the house, common household items. You don't have to go out and buy fancy stuff. I'm going to use egg cartons. Egg cartons are readily available in this house. I have two boys that are now men, the size of men. They're both taller than me, and they eat a lot of eggs. My sister also saves her egg cartons for me. I like the cardboard because cardboard absorbs water very easily. If you end up with the styrofoam ones, you can still use these. However, you're going to have to poke holes in the bottom. So you're going to have to take and make little tiny holes using a pair of scissors. Just good. You'll see that most of these already have circles in there, so you can actually just make a hole a little smaller than the size of that circle in every single place that you're going to be planting seed. You're also going to need something to put your seed containers in. I have these. You can buy these online for less than $1 each if you buy them in bulk. This is part of my living is doing plants, so I have these in mass. They fit egg cartons nicely. They really do. You can put a whole bunch in here. If you don't have something like this to hold your seeds, that's okay. You can use anything around the house. You can use any type of baking container that will fit these in. Okay, this is just an aluminum thing I got from a dollar store. It was $1. It's well worth it because you can reuse it. The reason I don't start seeds in containers such as this one here, like this, I don't start seeds in these because it's going to take too much seed starting mix. You can if you want to, but you don't have to fill it all the way. You could always fill it like to here, like right about there, instead of filling them all the way to the top with the seed starting mix, because you will end up having to transplant. And last but not least, pick your favorite seeds. Make sure you have what you want to work with, and we can begin. Okay, the first thing you want to do is make sure whatever you're using to hold the seeds, you can put enough egg cartons or whatever you're using in there. So I want to see how many I can actually fit in here. So some of these I've already taken off the sides. So I can fit 2 whole like that, and then this will not go either direction, so I'm just going to do a little bit of cutting because I want to utilize all the space I have in the seed holder. Why don't I just start them in here and not worry about that, you're asking? Well, the reason is because I believe that it's really important to water seeds from the bottom up. When you plant your seeds, you really don't want to, have to water on top, because that risks the seed constantly moving around, losing its grip on the soil that it's in, and that would cause it to possibly take longer to germinate. I'm putting that in there. And I can fit another one in there too, so I'm utilizing all the space that I have. Today we're going to be planting marigold seeds. Marigolds will be able to go outside, and being that we're from sunny Buffalo, New York, it snowed yesterday, even though it's April 17th. So I know that I'm not going to be able to plant anything outdoors. Our goal is always never before Memorial Day, or you're going to be running out there more often than you want to and covering up everything you planted. So there you go. We got our perfect seed starting station. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to get your bowl. You're going to make sure that you have your seed starting mix in here. And your seed starting mix, it should be a great consistency coming fresh out of the bag. However, you may have some like lumps that you want to make sure you crush. I am a big fan of just doing everything but with my hands. That's why I can never have fingernails. Sorry. I just can't do it. I'm used to getting my hands dirty all the time. So you have your soil, and this is dry, but here's the trick. You want to make sure your soil is moist when you're planting your seeds. So what I'm doing is I'm going to add a little water at a time to the seed starting mix. And the reason I'm just adding a little bit is because you're going to want to mix this very thoroughly. And you're going to want this to be the consistency of just a moist soil. So how you're going to check your consistency is once you mix the water in, you want to be able to grab a handful of the seed starting mix, and it should be able to hold its form from you squeezing it, but no excess water should come out. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Put a little bit more in here. And you really want to mix it good. You want to be able to take some of the soil, squeeze it in your hand, and not see any water come out. See, I got a little bit of water coming out of that, so I'm going to add a little bit more seed starting mix to it. You want it to be moist, but you want to be able to squeeze as hard as you can and not have any water come out. Okay? So I'm going to add a little bit more soil to that. There we go. Now we have it. What kind of seeds do you want to start? I'm really curious. You're going to have to make sure you leave some comments for me. Okay. The marigold packet that I have is 25 seeds. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a regular spoon and we're going to spoon in our seed starting mix. Simple stuff. I love the smell of soil. I just can't wait till springtime's here. So I'm just going through and I'm filling every single one of the egg cartons up with that soil. Once I have it filled, I'm going to not fill them completely, okay? We want to do like 3/4 of the way, because once we put our seeds in there, we're going to top it off with a little more soil. So this is what you're doing. Filling it, and then you're going to lightly pat down the soil that you've placed into the egg cartons. This is a great thing to do with your kids, whether you're a mom with young kids or dad with grandkids. Something you guys can do. We're all kind of quarantined in our houses right now due to these recent pandemic, so I'm hoping that this will bring some light to a few people's houses. Give you a few ideas on what you can do right now. Okay, and we'll fill up our next one. Besides eat and cook, because that's what I've been doing a lot of. I'm lucky enough to be able to work from home with my day job. Licata Pottas is my side job. It's what I love to do. So I do commercial and residential potted plant designs. I work with some wholesalers for very nice planters, whether they're fiberglass, ceramic, and then I work with local garden nurseries too. Not whether I grow my own plants or I get most of my tropicals from a few local growers and nurseries that I work side by side with. So we do custom potted plant designs. We do staging and rentals. If you're having a party and you just want to get some big planters out, we deliver. We do leaf shining, whether they're live plants or fake plants. I have my own mixture of organic leaf shine, which is actually helps. It's a bug repellent. It has a beautiful scent and it works great, and your leaves look amazing. Let me tell you that. Okay, so I've patted those down. So I only have 25 seeds, so I already have 20 of these filled. So I'm going to take this one out for now. And I'm not going to fill these because you don't use one seed per egg carton. You're actually going to be putting 2 seeds in each spot. So I'm cutting my marigold pack. And let me show you how small these are. Here are little bitties. Marigolds have a beautiful fragrance to them. They're only the only colors they come in are shades of yellow and shades of orange. Can you see these? Can you see how tiny those are? Little bitties, very small. So then you're going to take 2 seeds for each egg carton, where the eggs were, you know. 2 seeds each. You're going to lightly put them in there. The reason you're doing 2 is because, you know, Mother Nature likes to play tricks on us, and sometimes the seeds don't germinate. So you don't want to have an empty egg carton. You want to make sure that all of them were able to come in. And you get a plant out of it. So then you're going to take, you're not going to do anything else with that seed. You're going to leave it right where it is, and you're going to top off where you put the seeds with a little bit more of the moist soil. So the benefit of what we did with pre-moistening the soil is we don't have to water it right now. It's already watered for today. And go ahead and top off each one. I'm not going to do all these in front of you because I think you get the gist of what's going on. I have a bunch of other seeds I'm going to start today too. So you're only going to you're going to read your directions on your seeds because it's going to tell you what depth you should be planting your seeds at. A lot of times it will say twice the size of the seed. You know, if you stand the seed up, it'll say how much soil to actually put over the seed. You really got to read your directions. I mean, they're there for a reason. Each plant is different. You never know. And then you're just going to tap. You're going to tap the soil above the seed. Like that. And guess what? You're done. You're going to see a germination time on your seed packets too. It'll tell you how long it takes for the seeds to germinate. So I'm going to show you the next step now. This is now that you've had your seeds planted, you know you don't have to water them today because you already have the soil watered. I'm going to give you some tips on what to do for the next week or so. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the seeds that I've started not too long ago. You can see the dates on them. I've done some Iberis, Black-Eyed Susans. I have a whole bunch of, these are Hello Yellow Petunias, Phlox. These are Vinca Jams, which I absolutely love. But this is some that I started that are take a little bit longer for them to start growing. But this is what the great thing about using the egg cartons is. When you want to water them, you're going to fill whatever's holding your seeds with water, and you're going to let them sit in here until they turn this color. So for example, here's one that's dry. Okay, these are my Johnny Jump Up Violas. Okay, I started those on 323. I'm going to let them sit in here for about a half an hour. And after that half an hour, this is going to turn into this one. You can see the darker color. You know that this one's watered enough. Okay, I didn't have to water it from the top. I didn't have to worry about disrupting the seeds. And if they haven't been in any direct sunlight, you can go ahead and you can spray them. I really suggest getting a mister and using it and just misting them down. You don't want to mist them in direct sunlight, especially when they're this small, because you can actually risk burning the leaves. And trust me, that's a big trial and error thing for me. It took me a while to figure that one out when I was younger, when I first got into gardening. So I'm giving you a little heads up, a little warning. So you want to make sure that whatever container you're putting your seeds in is able to hold water. It does not have drainage, okay? And this is what you're going to do until your seedlings are large. And once they get bigger and they start showing some true leaves, like this one here, this has multiple seeds in it. So I'm actually going to be splitting that and turning it into the pots that you saw over here, these little ones. They end up transferring into something this size to continue their growing. As you can see here, this is at about 70 degrees because I opened it up, but I bought one of these little greenhouses. I think it's one of the best investments I ever made. Once I zipper this up, I have these little heating pads, and I zipper it up, and it gets to about 75 in here. When you're germinating plants, you want to keep it, you want to keep them between like 65 and 75. You do not want it to go below 65. I'm telling you that right now. Please don't do that. I hope you enjoyed this video on seed starting, and I'm sure I'll have plenty more for you. Check out my website, www.wnyplants.com. It's not launched yet, but I do have a launching page, so you can go ahead and sign in with your email, and then you'll be able to get all my blogs and all the fun things that I'm going to be sharing online. So take care. From Lisa Licata Pottas. Bye-bye.